Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You know, with the average 20 viewers I get per video, it's really special that you guys showed up, so thanks. But today we're going to be going over the build on my car so far. The goal is to take it to a stage 2 with about 350 horsepower, but I'm in the middle of about stage 1, so I'm going to be telling you guys about what I've done to the car so far, which modifications have made the biggest difference in terms of performance, and then I'll be telling you guys about my future plans. So we're on our way to a spot that's a bit more visually appealing than a driveway. So without further ado, cue the time lapse. Alright, here we are. If you guys recognize this spot, it's because we have been here before in a previous video. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. Now, let's get started. So before you do any modifications to your DSM, obviously you got to do some maintenance. So first things first, we replaced the spark plugs, we did the fuel filter, just all the belts, all the fluids, and recently coolant hoses as well as vacuum lines. You have to get all those things done before you even think about modifying a DSM, because who knows how it's been treated before you had it, and well, I don't know about yours, but mine definitely needed it. So after I did all the maintenance, then we started with kind of stage 0 stuff. So stage 0 is basically, you know, free mods. So I removed the boost restrictor solenoid, I put in better spark plugs, BPR 7ES, which is one step colder than stock technically, freed up the intercooler a little bit. Basically little odds and ends here and there that help your car go a little bit faster, but it's just kind of free stuff to satisfy your need to modify before you have some money. Now we're gonna get into the stage 1 stuff. So first thing I did for stage 1, aluminum intake. Now this kind of helped with throttle response, made a little bit of a difference. The turbo was a little bit louder, but it wasn't a massive improvement. And with the aluminum intake came a new intake filter, both of which helped, definitely, you know, aided the engine in breathing a little bit better, but it didn't really add a whole lot of noticeable horsepower. The second thing I did was I put in a 190 LPH Walbro fuel pump. Why? Because mine was bad, and the second reason is because I'm gonna need it eventually anyways. I'm gonna go above 300 horsepower, I'm gonna need a bigger fuel pump. Some more modifications include having a Mishimoto catch can, because when I took my intake off, it was covered in oil, and I did not like that, so I put a catch can on to prevent that from happening. I also put in chassis braces for the front and the rear. Again, not a huge improvement, but it helped a little bit, and it kind of looks cool. I might be somewhat of a racer, but don't tell my friends, even though they probably already know, but whatever. However, the biggest improvement to performance that I've seen by far was the solid aluminum intake piping. Now, the intake piping wasn't terrible to start off with from stock, but you know, if you want to make more horsepower, you got to put on aluminum piping. It just flows better, it's colder. But I have to tell you right now, the aluminum intercooler piping that I put on made the biggest difference in performance. There is a noticeable difference between before I put it on and after I put it on. One, the turbo is a lot louder and the blow-off valve is very loud, even when it's recirculated. And two, there's a noticeable power difference. I noticed after I put this on, it pulled harder, it was more responsive, it just felt like a whole new car. It felt better, it felt like it could finally breathe a little bit, you know? So in terms of performance and bang for your buck, aluminum intercooler piping, would absolutely recommend. I got it off of eBay for like 175 bucks. It's worked out pretty well so far. Along with the intercooler piping, I also got a new blow-off valve because the stock blow-off valve for a 2G can't handle anything over stock PSI. So I went ahead and got a billet aluminum version of a 1G blow-off valve off of STM tuned, got a flexible hose, slapped it on, and now I've got a full intake system of nothing but aluminum, which is pretty cool. So that's basically all the mods I've done so far to the engine. I do want to take this to a racetrack because I've always wanted to be on a racetrack, and now I have a car that can actually be made for it. And now that I have a daily, I don't have to worry about, you know, tracking my daily. So some mods that I made in preparation for track days, I put on a tow hook, I put in those hood pins, which look awesome. And then I also stripped the rear, took everything out. I also deleted the cruise control because it didn't work. Once again, another thing that didn't work. When I removed that, throttle response was improved so much. Like, I want to say it's like 50% more responsive now, because it's almost instantaneous that the gas is put on. I also put a duct bill on my car, but it's not on right now. Now, the previous owners did a couple things to the car as well. They're the ones that put on the exhaust, which sounds pretty nice, and they put on lowering springs. I want to put coilovers on this, or bags, because bags you can, you know, go up and down when you need to, but they're not quite as good for handling. But I don't know, I'm still thinking about that one. That pretty much completes the list of mods that I've done to my car. Now what I want to do, I want to take it to stage 2. Right now I'm kind of mid stage 1 right now. I want to take it to stage 2. So some of the parts that I'm going to need for that is, one, a tubular exhaust manifold, which I have now. I'm just cleaning it up. Need to get some carburetor cleaner later today. I'll be cleaning it up. Slap that on. I need a big Evo 3 16G turbo. I need a manual boost controller, an actual boost gauge, as well as a few other gauges. DSM Link V3. I want the Extreme PSI install kit for the 16G as well. I'm going to get that because that'll just make it a lot easier to put in. And then I'm going to need some bigger injectors, probably 650cc. I might need to get a new intercooler. I don't know. If I'm aiming for just 350, I think the side mount will do just fine. If I get a new one, it should do just fine. But we'll see. We'll see. Now, the cool thing is, I've done pretty much all this to my car myself. The only thing that I did not do is change the belts and change the fluids. I made someone else do that. But everything else, I've done myself. Everything from the fuel pump to the fuel filters to the hood pins, I've done it all myself. I'm sorry I didn't make videos of those. You know, it was kind of scary putting yourself on YouTube, but I decided to finally do it, you know. But the hood pins, that's a video. You can go back and check that out. But all this that I've done to my car, I've done myself. And I plan on continuing that tradition. And I can't wait to see where the car takes me. This car has been so much fun. It's been so good to me, even though it's broken down quite a few times. Put it into perspective, I've only driven this car about 5,000 miles in the first year and 2 months that I've owned it. So it's broken down quite a bit. But nonetheless, I still love this car. Probably one of the reasons I love this car so much is because of the community. The DSM community is one of the most supportive, helpful, and just friendly communities you can find. They're so willing to help you figure things out and make your car what you want it to be, and they'll help you every step of the way, which is really, really awesome. So this is a thank you to the DSM community for being really, really, really cool people. As for this video, it's pretty much going to wrap it up. I can't wait to see where this car takes me. I can't wait to see where this channel takes me. If you'd like to show your support, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe as well. But I'll see you guys next week.